Hello, welcome to the fourth unit of corporate finance and financial modeling. My name is Elias. In this video, we are going to look at the time value of money. We want to see what happens over time to money. If money was to be invested today at a given interest rate, how much will I have in the next period or at the end of the investment period? Let me quickly take you through the outline that will be covered in the entire unit, and then I will clearly indicate what will be covered in this session. Okay, so we are looking at the time value of money, and the first thing we'll look at is the introduction to the time value of money. And then after that, we will look at the interest rate. Now, interest rate is the one that we are using to retain the value of money today in the future. And as such, we will look at two types of interest rates. The first one being the simple interest rate as well as the compound interest rate. So we will look at these two in more details and see how different they are from each other. So just as a prerequisite, before we come here, we should note that with the simple interest rate, we get a fixed interest each year. If assuming that we are getting interest per year, so each year we will be getting the fixed interest until the end of the investment period. While with compound interest rate, each interest end in one period, we will earn interest and so on. So we will have interest on interest until the end of the investment period. The other things we'll look at have to do with the amortizing of a loan, and lastly, we will look at compounding for more than once per year. So we will have maybe say weekly or quarterly and so on, but within a given year we want to see what will happen if we are compounding more than once. For further readings, you can look at Essentials of Managerial Finance, Chapter 4. So this content is clear in that text. Please find time to get the textbook and read this content. Let me quickly take you through the introduction. So clearly, the time value of money simply relates to the principle and the computations used to revalue cash payoffs at different times so that they are stated in monetary terms of the same time period. What this brings us to is that the money that you have today may not be the same, may not be of the same value tomorrow. If you invest a quarter today, if you have a quarter today, in the next period, say next year, the value of a quarter may not be the same as it is today. And as such, we bring in the time value of money so that we are able to check or to revalue the cash flows at different points. Okay, so it is used to convert currency from one time period to another time period. In this case, we can say it is used to convert a quarter from one time period to another time period. And therefore, in doing so, we make use of what we call a cash flow timeline. Now, this cash flow timeline is simply a graphical representation used to show the timing of cash flows. You want to see how much cash you have today, and then how much you're going to have in the next period, say maybe next year, how much you have after 2 years, how much you have after 3 years, and so on. So this timeline will show you, suppose that you were to use a compound interest for each investment, then you will see how much you will have at the end of period 1, how much you will have at the end of period 2, until the end of the period under observation. Simply illustrated, a timeline for the cash flow will look like this one here. So we have a period 0 where you are making your initial investment of 100 kwacha, and that money is what we call the present value of the cash flow. then if we apply a 6% interest compounded annually, we will see that over time this money will be growing. But the big question we have is, what is the future value of this cash flow? What is the future value of the 100 kwacha I have today? So we will be using the 6% to check how much 100 kwacha will be in 3 years' time. Okay, with this, let's look at an example. Suppose that you invest 100 kwacha today in a 5-year savings instrument that pays 6% interest each year. How much would you have at the end of 5 years? Now, for you to know how much you will have at the end of 5 years, here I've suggested that you use a cash flow timeline so that you are able to monitor at each point of at each part of the investment period. Okay, so let's look at the solution. So what we have here is a timeline. So our initial investment that we have, which we call the present value, is 100 kwacha. So what is happening then is that if the interest rate is 6%, okay, our interest rate is 6%, meaning the money that I will have at the end of the first period will be the 100 which I have invested multiplied by 1 plus 0.06. Now, you may be wondering why 1 plus 0.06. So what is happening here is that if I multiply 100 times 1, it will give me the initial investment that I have made. And then if I multiply 100 times 0.06, it will give me the interest that I will earn at the end of period 1, which is simply a 6. So if I add this, I will have 106, meaning that at the end of period 1, given that I have made an investment of 100 kwacha, then at the end of period 1, I will have 106 kwacha. The 100, which is my initial investment, plus the 6 kwacha, which is the interest. So take note that when we want to get the actual amount, the full amount that we will have, we multiply the initial investment times 1 plus 0.06, which is the interest plus the base value of 1. Okay, so with that, then we see that at the end of period 1, we will have 106 kwacha. And if we go to the second period, meaning the money that we are going to invest this time around will be 106. So we get 6% of 106, which will show us that what we have will be 106 multiplied by 1 plus 0.06. So this is the amount that we're using, the part that we're using to adjust this 106 to how much it will be worth at the end of the period. So if we do that, we will have 112.36 kwacha. And if we check how much this will grow to, we go to the third period, we will have 119.1 kwacha. At the end of the fourth period, we will have 126.25 kwacha, and at the end of the fifth period, we will have 133.82 kwacha. So clearly, what we have seen here is that money will be growing as we progress to the next period. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this introductory video. In the next session, I will introduce the interest rate, both the simple interest rate, and then in the other session, we'll look at the compound interest rate. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get automated updates whenever a video is posted on YouTube. I will see you in the next session.